Good evening. Today I want to talk about inflation. I'm not talking inflation from the point of view of exactly what is happening on prices, but actually what I'm trying to point out is how inflation moves in an economy. India has two methods of measuring inflation, one at the wholesale price level and another at the consumer price level. Both are based on surveys of specific number of people and sometimes do not catch things accurately. The wholesale price market is in one place, so the chances of error on wholesale price market are very minimal. The consumer price index is based on a basket of goods, whereas the wholesale price index is on a more broader material. But in 2014, Rajan decided that CPI was more important and therefore CPI should be used as a tool for monetary policy. For most of last year, consumer price inflation was ruling between 5.5 and 6, except that in the month of September it came to 4.5. Many people said it's an anomaly, core inflation is very strong and will continue to rise. Recently, a spate of second quarter results have come. I want to pick three important people in this and discuss what is happening. First, if you had listened to Hindustan Unilever's chief speaking, he said the biggest problem that he is facing is the price of rising input costs. So he is talking about input costs rising. Hindustan Unilever is one of the biggest manufacturers of personal hygiene products and food. And if he says basically that input costs are rising, they are finding it difficult to keep the product prices at where they are. And they said that this year there will be several price hikes so as to protect their margins because no company runs on charity. To maintain their margins, they have to increase prices. And he has indicated that Hindustan Unilever has no option but to increase prices. The other company which I want to talk about is Britannia. Britannia is one of the most successful companies run in India and it is completely in the food industry. It has been aggressively advertising for many years and even has taken spaces on cricket bats of major players. In the past, Britannia has captured the market and is the largest biscuit manufacturer in the world. So Britannia says that sales have declined this quarter, but more than sales declining, Varun Berry, the managing director of Britannia, is pointing out to more worrying signs. He is saying that input costs such as palm oil and others have shot through the roof and thus their margins are also shrinking. Britannia is a darling of the market and is trading at a very high PE level. He has said that they are willing to sacrifice sales, but they have no option to increase prices. So you are going to have a situation where two of India's largest food companies have said they will increase prices, and increased prices mean lesser sales. This is what I have said is the dichotomy and difference between wholesale price index and consumer price index. Both Hindustan Unilever and Britannia, which are food companies, have had terrible results this quarter, are decided to pass on the hikes to the customer. Therefore, prices of all food products processed will have to go up because of input costs going up. But you should not think that this is restricted to only foods. Automobile companies have been continuously increasing prices even at cost of declining sales in two-wheelers because cost of steel and other input costs have gone through the roof and they have no option but to pass it on. India's largest two-wheeler manufacturer, Hero, had a terrible sales in October with 32% lesser sales than what was normal. In spite of that, Hero is going to increase prices or has increased prices. So is going to do Bajaj and other manufacturers. Car prices have also gone up through the roof in spite of chips not being available and cars not being delivered on time due to chip shortages. If one looks at IT industries, like I pointed out in a video some time back, a graphic card which cost 20,000 rupees about a year back is now costing 60,000 rupees. And it is not the next generation card, but the same card, which is costing at this price. All this indicates that input costs of prices have gone through the roof and they have not yet passed it on to the consumer price. Some of the prices have gone up, not caught in the CPI index. But once food prices start to rise, definitely the prices will be caught in the consumer price inflation. But central banks around the world are following a loose and accommodative monetary policy, and this is adding fire, pouring oil already on a raging fire. This means that inflation is sustained and will continue to rise. And this is not because of temporary supply chain bottlenecks, but primarily because All central banks around the world have started to print money. In India, salaries have not gone up. And in America, even rising wages at lower level have been lesser than inflation. In fact, a survey in America shows that real wages have declined by 0.5%. So, in the developed world itself, you have a condition where wages are going down and prices are coming up. In India, same is the case with wages coming down in real terms and prices going up. This makes making two ends meet very difficult for the common man. This is going to be the fate for the next 6 months unless the central banks move quickly. If they allow the next 6 months to pass like this, inflation will be entrenched and people will demand more salary for doing the same work. And if the brakes are not applied on time, it is going to maybe more difficult because the brakes may not work quickly when inflation is rising fastly. It is not only in food and IT there is a problem. In Asian Paints con call, one would have realized that the price of paints is going to go up because Asian Paints is unable to keep its margin in light of increased input costs, especially in the case of paint industry. It is crude. So WPA in being at double digits for the last 6 months is giving Indians a truer picture of inflation than the CPI manufactured and released by the Reserve Bank. Thank you for watching. Be rich. It's a great privilege and honor that so many of you in thousands have subscribed to my channel and have supported me. I have written 2 books in English, The Alchemy of Money and Ordinary Stocks, Extraordinary Profits. These books are published by us and are ready. If you want to procure a copy, send us a message to the WhatsApp number given below and my team would respond to you. If you want an Amazon Kindle copy, you can click the link below. Finally, those who wish to consult with me can send a mail to berichenglish@gmail.com. Once again, I thank you for your support. If you like this video, press the subscribe button of my channel, hit the like button and turn on the bell notification. नमस्कार, मेरा नाम आनंद श्रीनिवासन है और मैं एक पर्सनल फाइनेंस कंसल्टेंट हूँ। मैं 2 यूट्यूब चैनल चलाता हूँ पर्सनल फाइनेंस के बारे में। एक मनी पेज तमिल में है। मेरे बहुत से दोस्त बोले कि मैं हिंदी में एक चैनल शुरू करूं, तो मैंने एक पैसा बोलता है नाम का एक हिंदी चैनल शुरू किया है। मैं पर्सनल निवेश के बारे में ही बात करूंगा। आप उसको सब्सक्राइब करें, अपने दोस्तों को शेयर करें। अगर आप हिंदी नहीं जानते हैं तो पैसा करें। जो आपके दोस्त हिंदी जानते हैं उनको सब्सक्राइब करने के लिए आग्रह करें। धन्यवाद, नमस्कार।